one day I was sitting in my couch and I just found this broker called Etoro, a rudimentary one. It felt pretty expensive, but the UI was great. I signed up, I put in a little money, and let's see what happens.
The rest is history. Everybody, welcome to another episode of Beyond the Bull. Today we have Gabor Fogarasi. I'm getting that right. Yeah. A champion popular investor. Has been on the platform for a really long time, going to 13 years. Very interesting returns. He has had his ups, his downs. He has 140 copiers, 100 followers, but he has 178% return in the last 2 years, which is beating the market by a long shot. Welcome to the podcast. We want to find out the person behind the investor here at Beyond the Bull. He is originally from Hungary, but has been all over the world. We're going to hear his story, so make sure you stay till the end to find out his tips and tricks on how he sees the market, how he trades it, and what he's looking for in the near future to hopefully make himself and his copiers tons of money. This is not financial advice. So Gabor, your eToro copiers know you as Foggy70 on eToro. You've been on the platform for a really long time. So Gabor, I want to understand what made you get started in 2013 and continue your investing journey until today. Even though you've seen massive volatility in your portfolio, you've still decided to stay with it. And now you're a full-time investor too. So I want to understand, what was the thing that motivated you to get started?
Right, let's start in the beginning. So 2013 is actually the middle of the story because that's when I signed up for eToro. But I started investing in about 2007. Just a few months before this 2008 financial crisis. It's a good time as a beginner. So yeah, should we start 2000?
For sure. I mean, like, I'm going to tell you, I'm the kind of investor that has always joined at the peaks. I think my first investment in Bitcoin was 2017. So I understand what get thrown in the deep end means,
Yes, that was really an experience. So basically, 2007, I just got my first big boy job. I started earning money, and with the colleagues, we just, I don't know, discussions come and like, hey, there's this new cool thing. You can invest in the Hungarian market. I'm like, all right, we registered and we invested into this big bank. Well, it should be the safest option, and we knew nothing about investing. And for a while, it went okay. I mean, you win some, you lose some, but eventually money started to pile up. Not life-changing money, but as beginners do, I was very happy for my first $50, for first $100. Fortunately, eventually, this financial crisis came, 2008. For the younger listeners, it's ancient history, but it seemed like the world will end, and it didn't still. So this nice little bank lost about 80%, maybe 90%, a lot. And I was looking at my portfolio, big red numbers, and like, shit, all right, I'm getting a salary next month as well, but it's not great. But that was the first steps. Obviously, as every beginner, I learned about Forex, how magical is that, and you can be rich very quickly. Newsflash, I did not get rich on Forex. And just like you, every experienced investor I talk to, and I mentioned Forex, they are all nodding, yes. We've all been there. Yeah. We've all wiped our accounts. Yes.
100x leverage is the right way. Yes.
Yeah, obviously. It's super safe. And yes, there were trades where you got really lucky and, oh my God, I'm rich. But the next day, obviously, it turns against you. So, and yes, we can always say, yes, your risk management was not all right. You were greedy and you were a beginner. Mostly that's true. I dug deeper. I think the longest I had a Forex account was like 3 years. And after 3 years, you start to believe that, oh yeah, I figured it out. I'm good. And no, you're not, obviously.
Yeah.
There's a reason I'm not doing day trading.
Well, it's interesting that you don't hear, right? You don't hear Warren Buffett saying, like people with the Warren Buffett status saying, oh, I got here through day trading and that's all I do.
And also, I never met in my life anyone wealthy who said, yeah, I do day trading. There are people who claim that, yes. And obviously, there might be a mythical creature living somewhere who got rich with Forex. He probably got out in time. All right.
So then you
That's
went
right.
from so what was your first job? I'm interested to see what sort of like was it a finance job or was it anything
Um,
out of the blue? You know, I
a
want to
bit
know.
far. I mean, my background in university is economics.
Okay, same here.
And after a little detour, I spent 6 months in Nigeria working, like gaining experience. And I went home to Hungary and I got hired. Unisys was actually opening a new office in Hungary. And I was employee number 2. And I've been there for almost 4 years. So actually, it was really interesting. I loved it. I learned a lot. It was called a bit financial manager or something like that. So I was working on multi-million-dollar deals. I actually stuck in that industry for 25, 15 years. Yes,
Okay.
15, 20 years. So yeah, basically I was working for tech companies, but not really cutting edge tech, but like Unisys is doing managed services, call centers, and then I switched to telco companies doing mostly the same.
Okay.
And that's how I went around the world.
Nice. Okay. Because in your story before I was reading the notes that you sent me, it says you moved to like you've been all over the world, right? So what was the thing that sort of made you? Was it work that made you move all over?
No, actually, it's in connection with money. I mean, I've been very, very much. I was overpaid at Unisys. I was earning more than my father and mother combined as a like a fresh graduate, or so. Shouldn't yet. I was still like counting. All right, so eventually, I want to buy an apartment. I want to buy a car, like normal thing, nothing fancy.
Yeah.
And then Excel told me that maybe in 20 years I can have my own apartment. I'm like, shit, that's I don't like
Reality
that.
hings quick, you know. It's like you're making
And
tons of
there is
money,
this
but
colleague, member of the team guy in London, and I know how much he earns, and like, saying this like 5, maybe 8 times more than me, and he's doing exactly the same as me. I mean, I'm not the outsourced low-level job. No, it's exactly the same job. And I was asking in the company, like, is there a chance I can get reassigned to London? Like, I want to see the world. And that was a hard no. So I convinced my girlfriend at the time to buy a one-way ticket to London, and I quit the job.
oh wow.
So we did.
Okay. 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 So then you arrive in London and what meets you there, you know, because London ain't cheap. You know, you earn a lot more money, but you spend a lot more money too. At least I would
Yeah,
assume.
I arrived with like £2,000 in my pocket, which gives you a room for a couple of months. Back at the time, I'm not really sure how much was a room for a week, about £200 maybe.
Yeah.
Correct me on that. We split that with the girlfriend, so
So it was okay. Okay.
yeah, it was okay. Delivered sandwiches for like 6 weeks until I got my first serious office job. And 6 months later, I got hired to a proper company, Tata Communications, doing exactly the same commercial bid management. I loved it. I'm seriously. My manager, he was called Neil Armstrong. You can't be a bad person with that name. Yeah. So life was pretty good. Career was going up and
Yeah.
up, and actually, if you roll back even before the job, I mean, I was always doing some sort of a side hustle because I was really, really unwilling to trade my time for money. So I rather found different ways to earn my money. And also I had to continue that in London. I mean, I'm in London, in the big city. I mean, I have to make it somehow. And one day I was sitting in my couch and I just found this broker called Etoro, a rudimentary one. It felt pretty expensive, but the UI was great. I signed up, I put in a little money, and let's see what happens.
The rest is history. You know,
Yeah,
yeah.
little
Like
did
we
I
like to
know that.
say. That's interesting too, because I found eToro whenever I wanted to start investing. One of the things I really liked was the social aspect, right?
Yeah.
Just because you were able to talk to other people, whether they knew a lot or they knew little, they were interested in the same thing, right? And that's where I find a little bit of hard, sort of like one of the hard parts of this industry is finding people that are interested. Unless you're working at a bank or unless you're working with in finance, you don't get to
Mhm.
talk about these things with, I would say, the normal people of the world, right? I
Yeah,
think
most people are just not interested in talking about investments, finances, or secretive about that. Like, oh, I'm not telling you. Like, okay.
it's like, okay, cool. I like to share it. You know what I mean? Like, because the thing is I'm always trying to find sort of like the kink in the armor. What do you know that I don't know that I can use in my thesis to hopefully make some more money? right? So that's the reason I love doing this, right? Because it's kind of understanding that aspect of it. You don't know what you don't know, and then there's always the risk of what could happen. So okay, so then by the time so you opened your account in 2013,
I believe
finally.
so. 2013, yes.
Okay, and then for
I
you
think
were doing okay. You know what I mean? I think your return, like at the beginning, was very mild, but then sort of like picked up, mild, and then all of a sudden, 2016.
yes. However, I mean, I don't remember. Maybe I can download account statements, but I didn't put much money in there, and I treated it more like a playground. So it wasn't really like I'm really trying to make it. For years, I just forgot about it and did other stuff. So I wish I could, I don't know, edit, trim, cut that past, because it's not horrible, but it's not great.
Yeah, but it's okay. It's part of the journey. You know what I mean? Like I think the more data you have, it allows people to kind of judge you better. You know, because a lot of people, for example, you have like my brother joined Etoro in April, right? And he
Mhm.
bought
Yeah.
one stock, and he has a 65% return on the year. You know what I
Awesome.
mean? Does that make him a great investor? No, he just started, right? Like it's
Yeah, but
not
I see,
dissing
like,
on my
he
brother
has
at
a
all.
5 month history or
Yeah,
4.
right. But exactly, right. But then understanding the history and giving the context, right,
Maybe,
allows.
maybe the account value should be indicated somehow, that this guy, until like the first 10 years, he had $500, he had a
Yeah,
hundred
you could
dollars.
share it too. Yeah, that would be
Hmm.
interesting if they put it. You know, because the thing is like also Etoro doesn't want to just give away the numbers they
Maybe
tell
just a
people.
proportional chart. I understand it's
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
sensitive information, but
Well, that would be interesting, actually. You know, based on your current portfolio, your returns of that back in the day, that would be interesting. That would
yeah,
actually be very, very interesting if they could add some sort of analytics around that. But okay, tell me. So 2018, were you fully invested at that time? Like, were you paying attention fully at that time? Because I know 2018
2018
was a rough one for you.
on Etoro, definitely not. I don't even
Okay.
remember that
Okay.
account. But
I
on
see.
another account outside of eToro, yes, I think 2018 was the first year I fully started picking stocks, like with the intention that this is what I want to
Okay.
do.
So then, was 2018 a positive year for you or a negative year? Because on eToro it says a negative, but then I want to sort of understand because one of the
I
next part of
think it
the
was a positive. Actually, I just did my
okay,
taxes for Australia, and I had to dig up because I just closed the position I opened in
okay,
18.
nice,
So I just seen recently that statement, and it was a good year. Yeah.
okay, perfect, okay. So then 2022, because every single like most investors during 2022, even myself, had a rough year, right? So I want to
Yeah.
understand like what were the things that you learned about sort of the markets and the reality of the markets? Because obviously you started with forex, so you understand how rough the markets can be, right? I mean, you started in the deep end with forex. Usually, that's one of the problems that I have. People start with crypto. First thing they ever invest in is Pepe coin or you know any meme coin
Yeah.
whatsoever or NFTs, and then they
Yeah.
sort of get spooked by the markets. But you didn't, right? So what did you learn? Because a mistake is only a mistake if you don't learn from it, right? So what did you learn that made you a better investor today?
Leverage. I'm not really sure if I had any leverage on eToro. I think it was just running with the market. But on my other account, I had some sort of leverage, and it started out sensible. Like I had like 50% extra I borrowed, but markets turned really down after COVID. Like, no, after COVID, there was a real uptick, but after that, there was a
Yeah.
serious crash. And that 50% became 3x. And I was really calculating that, all right, so if it drops another 10%, I'm getting liquidated. That's not good. So, on one hand, I made sure that at the time I was working, so every paycheck it went in, because if it helps 0.5%, it helps. I closed trades I totally didn't believe in, luckily early on. So I realized that shit, there's a crash here. I'm going to lose, but I'd like to lose a little bit less. And companies I was a bit iffy on, I got rid of those, which turned out to be good decision. And also I really tried to doing everything, and I bought some oil stock, which was a good thing because it was going up. I think one of them was a Hungarian oil company. I hoped I understand that more, and that kept me afloat.
So then you
So
sort of
somehow I survived.
yeah. I mean, like that's the beauty of it too. You know, it's like kind of like one of the things you said at the beginning was the crash happens, but you're still alive, and you're still alive today. So that's why I think some of the markets end up rebounding after every major crash. Okay, that was ugly, but we're okay. We're alive.
That was ugly, but a lot of people, like when it gets ugly, they cut their losses and they never look back.
Correct.
And my thinking is more like, all right, I want to understand, learn to be better. Even if I'm losing it, I want to understand where did I screw up, and how can I do it better next time.
Okay, nice. I mean, like that's the idea. Like it's like the whenever I started, I remember when I first started investing, whenever I lost my first $100, I think it was my first trade on Etoro was a leverage oil position, and I lost $100, and that was painful. And I mean, like the first $100 you lose, you're like, oh my god. But
it depends on how much $100 means to you at the time. So
at that point, yeah, you know what I mean. At that point, yeah, right. But it's like it's interesting because it's only part of the process. It's what I now call tuition money. Those $100 have made me thousands now, right? Like hundreds of thousands. It's great.
Yeah.
It's like I don't mind the idea of losing $100. Like now in retrospect, it seems such a minute amount, but it was big, right?
Yeah,
but yeah.
I remember
it's the tuition cost, right? And many people end up paying with like they go through crypto, they go through like we talked about before, and it's just yeah. So one thing I want to sort of touch on, because you mentioned that you were paying attention during the 2008 financial crisis, right?
Yeah.
So were you trading back then, or were you stepping away?
I was, stupidly. Obviously, as a beginner, you want to be better than the big corporations with an army of analysts. And I just started, but I'm better, obviously. And obviously it didn't end well. But again, I mean, even though I lost some money, a lot, but I stood up and I said, all right, I'm learning a bit more. So not continuing the exact same path, changing your strategy, tweaking it, and adapting.
I get you. All right. So let me ask you, okay? Because the thing is like peak fear is interesting, right? Now peak fear, I know how to sort of like maybe sense it a little bit more. So when that panic of I have no idea what's going on here, I've just like, am I doing the right thing? Should I sell? But I don't have the data. The data's not out. The market's acting in an irrational way that I just don't understand.
Yeah.
I need to find the data. And then you find the data, and then you're like, and then you start sort of like creating that conviction, right? So for you, how do you deal with that fear, right? Like, do you sort of like nowadays, do you understand it? And how do you approach it?
Well, I wish everyone, I talk a lot of people who think they understand and they have so big conviction on whatever their stance is. And like, man, all right, that I don't know the answer, but you just have to realize that you cannot possibly know the answer. So that's dangerous when you are very convinced on something which you don't know. I think it got easier as I got rid of the leverage on Etoro. I think as a popular investor, we are not really allowed. Maybe a little bit we are allowed, but I'm not doing any leverage as a popular investor because I think it could be dangerous and stressful.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I remember how it was, yes. And on my other account, also I got rid of leverage. Maybe I have like a 10% now, which is...
If you see an opportunity, you know what I mean? Like if there's an opportunity, like I might overextend, I don't like leverage myself either. Even though right now I'm sitting on leverage ETFs, but
leverage ETF might be a little bit different, but
yeah, it's a different trade, So it's
but that's like 1 or 2% of your portfolio.
It's nothing crazy, exactly. Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm not going in all in, risking the whole account, right? Like there's risk parameters involved. So yeah.
Also, the more money you have on the account, capital protection becomes more and more important because like $100, $1,000, yes, you can lose. But when it goes your lifetime savings, you can't lose your life savings.
Yeah, no, and I think the strategy changes too, right? Like for example, Warren Buffett is making so much money out of treasury bills because he has billions of dollars in there. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, like if you're gonna put your money in treasuries when you have $100, it doesn't really make sense, right? Because you could take a little bit more risk and potentially increase those returns. And if you lose the money, like if you lose part of that money, it's okay, right? Yeah. Like and you learn and you adapt, you learn how to use the platform, you learn how to do all these different things, right? So let me ask you, how do you analyze risk based on nowadays, how do you sort of like consider your risk position, right? Because I saw that you on your portfolio you are a little bit heavy on XRP, right? So you're still like concentration.
And I want even more concentration. Actually, it's just new opportunities come up. Like recently, Fortinet had a terrible quarter, and it dropped 20%. Yes, I'm buying Fortinet. I was waiting on Fortinet is on my list for years, and this is my chance. Sometimes you just yes, it's a good investment. Let's do it. I don't mind if the rule was that I'm only allowed 15 stocks. No, I mean that's crazy. I mean, that's a self-imposed rule. XRP, yes, it became big. I mean, I started buying XRP when it was like 18 cents, 40 cents. So it was not a big portion of my account, but now it's around $3.
It's grown.
So on XRP, I have very big conviction as well. I mean, I purchased shares in Ripple, the company itself. It's already paying. I mean, I bought it like 3 years ago, I think, because every crypto enthusiast is big on, oh, crypto should be decentralized and that's the dream. And they hate XRP because it's a company, it's centralized. And I love the fact that it's centralized. Yes, you have to trust someone, yes.
Yeah,
But
but trusting someone
it's
is
not necessarily
okay.
a bad thing.
Yeah, right. Like trusting someone, as long as they sort of like they do the right thing, right, and they continue to do the right thing, it's okay,
Yes,
right?
there is a risk, but also there is a risk having your your keys on a piece of paper and your house burns down, whatever happens. I mean, and actually
It's
it's
true.
kind
It's
of
true.
inconvenient having your own crypto or taking care of your crypto. You and me, maybe we can. If I could try to explain my mom how to take care of her crypto, that would be difficult.
100%. 100%. I think that we are seeing that maturity in the industry where it's just different products for different people. As long as you have the backing and sort of like some sort of like agency. I mean, like, right, banks can collapse tomorrow and then we are all in trouble, right?
Yeah,
So I mean, there's on the one side, there's on the other. The network could come out, Satoshi could come alive to start moving his crypto. All of
you
these
never
different
know.
things could happen. Yeah, right. So there are risks everywhere, and that's the beauty about sort of all the crashes that I've lived through, and sort of like I hope that everybody goes through them, because it's like it teaches you that there is risk whenever you're putting money at work, right? Many people think, oh, this is just I'm going to get 10% for the rest of my life, and that's it. No, right? That
Well,
10% risk
on
comes with
average, yes, but there
yeah,
are ups and downs.
yeah,
But you've
but there's
probably
ups
seen those
exactly,
charts. You've seen those charts zoom out, and there is a 40-year period. Yes, there are major crashes, but it always recovers.
exactly, right? So we
And
expect that it's
if
going
at
to
some
recover at
point,
some point. Yeah,
yes, and if at some point it never recovers, that means World War III happens, and you have bigger things to worry about than your little stocks. So
yeah. No, I get
I'm
it.
not, I'm not
So
worried
yeah,
about those risks.
okay. So you're a full time investor. You're always posting on eToro, always paying attention.
I am. I
I want
am
to
at
sort
least
of get an
every
idea of
time.
what your process is, right? So I want to understand. I want to understand what is it you do? How do you analyze? What does it involve for you to take on a position?
My approach is more like a macro investor. So I read a lot about what's happening in the world and what could be the implications on the stock market. Yes, when it comes to individual companies, yes, I look at the financials. You kind of have to. But also, there are plenty of analysts out there. You read them, and if everyone thinks the same, and you look at the numbers and it checks out, then you can probably accept it. Now, there are companies where analysts are absolutely torn. They are all over the place. Am I really smarter than 500 top analysts out there? Probably not. I'll probably stay away from those companies.
Let me
It's,
ask
it's
you.
more like humility. You have to understand, like,
Yeah,
might be a smart guy, but am I really smarter than the guys who are doing it 16 hours a day and have a PhD and,
and have all the access to all of the data,
and
all of the
have better
different
data? Yeah.
research. Just because you have better tools doesn't mean you're going to do a better job. But the fact that you have access to those tools and you're in that environment and you have access to the CEOs and you have access to the people that work in the companies.
And I'm trying to understand the
Yeah.
whole market, all companies, and that specific analyst only has 5 companies on his job description, and
Yeah.
he knows that 5 companies inside out. So like
Correct.
I can't be smarter than him, or
Yeah.
every company employs such a guy. So there are a number of guys out there who are smarter, much smarter. So just understand your limitations, and maybe you cannot maximize the profits. Maybe you have to
Perfect.
be happy with your 30, 40%.
Let me ask you, when you design a thesis, do you come up with a story that you follow? right? Because I like to like this is a theory that I sort of like heard from the one of the Big Short personas. He was
Yeah.
talking about like, look, like I like the story, right? So it's like, yeah, I look at the macro, I look at the micro, I look at all in between, but there has to be an underlying story within this investment, and as long as that underlying story doesn't change, it doesn't change how I feel about those companies, right?
Mm,
Because usually, how long are you waiting to buy a company? Like when you buy a position, how long your minimum? Let's say some companies you might get in and out, right? But normally, what would you say is your holding period for companies?
it really depends. Half a year to multi-year, 3, 5.
Okay.
So if a company is a good company, it's probably a good company in 3 years' time as well.
Do you listen to the story, or do you create a story around your investment, or no?
I do listen to the stories, but if it's not backed up by numbers,
Of course.
then I mean, it's very easy. It's human nature. We love stories. We love to fall in love with stories, and there are a lot of people who, I don't know, love the solar companies because it's saving the earth and how great it's free
No. Okay.
electricity
Yes.
basically.
Okay.
I
Okay.
mean,
Okay. 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 Okay.
and yes, it's all true, but as a business they may not be good.
Correct. Yeah. 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 Like there is this story that you tell yourself, and then there's this story that sort of like allows for the company to exist, right? So, for example, my story with solar companies right now is not. I don't care if they save the earth, right? If that's a positive, great. But the reality is that I just think that they are probably the second fastest way to get energy to any place. And with the AI revolution, we are seeing that sort of like boom.
Is that a profitable thing to? I mean, I see solar companies as commodity. They are selling a commodity. They
Correct.
don't have an edge. They have a
No, but
better
they do.
management. They can
They
allocate
do.
capital a little bit better.
They
But
do. They do because, well, the thing is, just like, and I tell you what, and this is where it gets into a little bit of
tell
like,
me, change
because the
my
thing is,
mind.
for example, First Solar. First Solar is a company that I like a lot, and it's been super volatile lately. I think it's gone from like 120 to all the way
Yeah,
to 220,
it's one of the
and
best
it's been,
ones, good ones.
yeah. And the thing is, just like, it has a couple of things going for it, and it's the fact that it's an American company, so it has the protections that Trump is creating around the
Yeah,
whole energy
politically
industry
it's
and
good.
tariffs. Then it has the AI revolution, which is just the idea that we cannot get energy at the right times in the right places. So if you combine solar with batteries in a data center, that you could just cover all of the data center with solar, you can reduce the heat, you can potentially use that energy for something else, and then the profitability starts becoming viable. And the fact that interest rates would come down
Well,
could
but
increase
First
that.
Solar doesn't own the data center. First Solar has
No,
nothing
it
to
does
do with
not.
AI. It's just a catalyst. First
Exactly.
Solar is
Yeah.
selling you a panel and installs it
Correct.
probably
Correct.
maintains that.
Yeah.
But the next solar company, Steve Solar, they can do exactly the same. They go to the same manufacturer.
No, but that's the thing, right? Like because they're American, they're being protected, and they are the only Americans, like
Mm,
I would say, like
okay.
biggest producer of America. So then there's a story there. Obviously, like there are certain points. Whenever you start losing those points, the valuation comes down a bit, right? But for me, the story sort of adds that, right? Like it adds that context. But yeah,
I try to not fall in love with the story because
no,
yes,
no, no. The moment I see those things change, both in the numbers and like, for example, when Biden created the tax incentives, and I'm just talking about First Solar just to give you an example because it's what I'm paying attention to. But the tax incentives, company went up like crazy, overvalued,
yeah,
right?
sure. Demand
Then
grows.
Trump decides to take off those credits. Company gets punished, and all of a sudden, it's like you're seeing this event. For example, SMCI is a company that I know for sure you and I had in common.
We
And
both
for a
love it.
while it just got punished for no reason. It's like, yeah, they were having accounting problems, which you
They
shouldn't
had
have.
that was good reason because they did it
Yes.
before.
Yeah, exactly. But the fact that they did it before gave me hope that they knew how to deal with it. You have to learn from the mistakes.
Fair enough.
you
Fair
know
enough. Fully.
and I'm playing that bounce. I'm still playing the bounce, which is interesting. I should have gotten out the moment we got to, I think we touched 60. But
Yeah,
it's
60,
not a company
65.
that I
But
think has like a
hindsight,
super
in
crazy
hindsight,
moat
everyone is
around them.
very smart.
But yeah. But yeah, so then
No,
it's interesting. But then, okay, perfect. So let me ask you, how do you usually size positions, and how do you usually manage your risk?
sorry, you're breaking up. I can't really hear you. Your picture is frozen. Not sure if it's me or
So
you.
it should be okay. Yeah, it should be here. Let me try something.
Now it's
Hello.
better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think your internet might be okay. So it's gonna record it in the back end, so it should be fine, right? As long
Yeah,
as it
I just
uploads.
didn't hear you because even your voice was cut out completely.
Okay, so cool. So then my question to you is like, how do you usually position size, and how do you usually risk
Mhm.
manage?
Position sizing, I don't have a very strict rule, apart from not going all in 20-40%. That should be crazy. I don't mind if a position grows in time, like my XRP position. It's about probably not 30, 25% maybe of my portfolio. It grew. So, and it's also a question of how much money I have. How many targets do I see at the same time? How much money can I put in? Because the more your account grows, the more difficult it is to put in another 5%. I share it sometimes. My account is currently 120,000. I just can't get another 10,000 out of my pocket just to top it up. If I put in 2,000, that's not a big amount, like percentage wise. So there is no clear rule for sizing a position.
Okay. All right, and then how do you risk manage?
That's a very broad question. I have to ask for clarification. Risk
Okay,
manage.
so okay, I'm gonna tell you this, right? So for example, I get this from my dad, right? My dad is a project engineer. He worked for Shell Oil and Gas for years, right? And his definition of risk, it's two definitions meeting one. And on the one side is just what is the probability something happens, and what is the damage that it can create, right? If those
Okay,
two
that's
things
a
are high, it's high
corporate
risk.
approach. Yeah.
You know, if those two things are low, it's low risk, right? So if it's 99% chance of something happening, but you're gonna lose $1, who cares, right? It's
Yeah.
not that's not risky, right? Like it's just
Okay.
something
So
that can happen.
with this approach, markets are inherently risky.
Hundred
So
percent.
yes, tomorrow, or actually in a few years from now, what's that meeting? Not a Fed meeting.
Tomorrow, the Jackson Hole.
Jackson Hole. It's today, is it? It's Friday,
Yeah, it's
right?
today at 3 o'clock. Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay, so
sir.
it's today. It's today.
You're gonna be paying attention to that.
I'm not going to stay up that late because I'm in
Fair.
Australia, and that would be like 1 a.m. or something like that. So it's risky. We don't know. I mean, and I can't close all my positions just to stay away from the risk. I mean, I calculated that like, what's the worst could happen? How bad can it be?
I think we're already pressed it in.
Maybe we drop 5%. That's extreme, right? If the whole market drops 5%, that's extreme, and I can survive that, and we will bounce back from that. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe. So you
And
can't
that's
really.
the worst case scenario. That's him saying, "I'm gonna raise interest rates to 10% tomorrow."
But
Yeah,
what's more likely is that he's saying, yeah, this and that, maybe yes, maybe
of course.
no. Market may be a little bit upset, a 1% drop, or if he's very adamant on, yes, we are going to cut the rates in September, then markets will go up 2%. Does it change my life? Does it change my approach? Does it change the companies I own? And I think no. So I'll stay invested.
So then
So,
you like to sleep at night, is what I'm hearing from this. You're not
oh
going
yes,
all
I love
in.
my
You're
sleep.
not going crazy. You're not doing anything nuts that's going to affect your sleep. You can read the news tomorrow and you'll be okay.
Yes,
Fair enough.
exactly. I
Fair
mean,
enough. I like
as
to,
you get older, and if you did Forex, I had some sleepless nights when you like wake up every 20 minutes and you look at your phone like, shit, it's going good, it's going bad. I don't want that. I really
Yeah.
don't want that. I rather do half at
Yeah.
the end of the year, but I like my
No,
sleep.
it's the truth. No, it's the truth. And I find that there is like, and you can make better decisions too. You know, it's whenever you see the market freak out, for example, in April, yeah, the market went down like crazy, right? But did I move
And
much
that
of
was
my
a bit
portfolio at that
stressful.
time?
That was a bit stressful. We have to admit that was.
100%, right? But the thing was like, even though it was coming down drastically, right? And you're seeing the market moves, it's like, okay, like let's figure it out, right? Like right now, nobody knows. That's what we're seeing, the blood on the streets. Let's figure out if there's going to be more blood or there's not going to be blood. And then the moment you start, like I started doing my research back in the day, and it was kind of like, hey, the tariffs are not going to be that hard, like that rough on the economy, right? We're not
That came to my
we're not going
mind
to a
now,
standstill.
actually. You asked before, how did I survive the 2002 crisis? I'm not sure if you remember, but Google went below $100. Amazon went below $100. And I said, those companies are still great. And I was buying them.
Yeah,
And it paid out
exactly.
very,
Does it
very
change the
well.
story? Did it change
Like
the story?
when something that bad happens, you just have to have some sort of access to additional capital and just buy the dip. Contrarian investor
Yeah.
here. I love buying the dip. That's why we love
Yeah.
SMCI as well. Because
I mean, you're getting a company that probably like it's funny because, for example, Microsoft tells you that their strategy is a 10-year horizon, right? So something that happens today might not affect the 10-year horizon. Yeah, it might create a bump, but it might not affect
yeah,
it drastically, you know? So you're not investing in the company, like you're buying the company that's worth in 10 years, 20 years, right? Whenever you buy today. And you're hoping that that growth continues into the future, right?
well,
So,
I'm sure the plans can change. I mean,
of course,
yes,
no,
they have
they can, you know what I
pretty
mean?
good
But
planning
how
for.
many people does it have to go through before you implement a change in Microsoft? You know what I mean? It's hundreds, thousands of people. So just because tariffs came up 5-10% overall, you're not going to see that major
Not a
change.
big.
I mean, it's not COVID. You know what I mean? Like COVID stopped the economy on its tracks,
That was
right?
unexpected.
But tariffs is like, okay, like I'll just sell it to the Europeans. They're willing to pay a little bit more now. Okay, I'll sell it to the Europeans because I can make more money there. Like I don't have to send the ship all over. Okay, it's going to cost me a bit more, but
There's
just
a
shift it
solution
around.
for every situation. Yeah,
Yeah, right. And then we're seeing how Trump, like the reality of Trump. But well, don't get me started because I get this is a beyond the bull episode.
beyond the
Okay.
scope of this. Yeah.
All right, thank
So
you.
also
Okay,
now,
so let
now
me
you
ask you.
hang on a second. Now you mentioned it. Like, yes, tariffs are here, and we don't like Trump, but that's the situation. But Trump is not going to be here in 3 years.
Well,
Yeah,
he has
well,
5% chance.
unlikely,
There's a
unlikely.
5% chance in the betting market. 5%, which is higher than it should be. It should be zero.
Okay, okay, yes.
You know, I think like when he spoke with Zelensky the last time, he was like, like if we were at war, we can't have elections. Maybe we go to
Hmm.
war. And then he has ships in Venezuela right now.
Man can dream.
He's a dreamer and a half. I can tell you that much, you know. But okay, so let me ask you:
Good question. Yes.
you could be an investor on your own books, not having to deal with all the trolls on Etoro, not having to deal with any of it. Let me ask you, why do you
I
do
love
this?
those
Why do you
trolls.
decide to become a popular investor?
Well,
And why did you decide to invest too? So I wanted the answer
yes,
to
yes.
both.
That's your question. Why
Yeah, yeah,
why
yeah.
why am I investing? It probably goes back to that very first time when I looked at the numbers that I was earning good, and yet I will virtually never be able to afford a decent car and a decent apartment. So there has to be something. And I even either continue my side hustles, which one of them may hit, but they are side hustles for a reason, or do this. And I studied or like looked into so many businesses. What could I do? Investing called me the most, and I see the most potential there. It's relatively easy technically, so you can just sell and click, like click and sell, that's it. Yes, you have to do decisions and hopefully good ones. So that's the difficulty there, but the barrier of entry is very low. I like that.
Correct.
And the potential upside is pretty high. And also if you look at the wealthy people, most of them are investing.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. If you want to become something, ask the people that already are, and then just copy,
Yeah,
clone, clone, clone. So, what's your goal then? What's the goal here?
I think I already at the goal. I mean, I'm doing this full time. I can make a living from this. So I'm already super happy. Like little Gabor, I don't know, 10-year-old Gabor could never imagine this. Should I put an amount? That amount will change. As soon as you hit that amount goal, that changes.
Yeah.
Do I really want a bigger yacht? A bigger house, a bigger car? Not really. I mean, I'm comfortable. So it could be like, it should be personal goals or something. And I just recently thought about it that, it's in your mind that you want to like buy an apartment for your kids or
Take
give
them
them
to
a good
university in America, or
university or so whatever it is. And I thought about if I teach my daughter right, she can buy her own apartment. I don't have
yeah,
to buy it. She will buy it herself because she earned it.
yeah. And if she starts young,
So
yeah,
she's she's 8 now, so she has time. She's
for
getting
sure.
$4 every time we go grocery shopping.
Fair enough.
She's spending it, which is fine.
Always, always. It's always the truth, you know. But it's interesting because it's yes. You imagine if you had just started investing at 8, then the next Warren Buffett story begins.
I wish I had someone who explained thanks to me, because nobody in my family knew about that. So the investing was putting it into the savings account,
Yeah.
and like I already see that's not
Not the
great.
answer. Yeah, yeah.
It's not the best approach.
Correct. This is the riskiest, one of the riskiest approach for sure, because it's a guarantee you're going to lose money to inflation. You're
Yeah,
letting the
it's
government
not
decide
risky, it's
for
a
you.
guaranteed
Yeah.
loss. Yeah, so I had to figure it out all by myself, what it is, how it is played, which are the sketchy companies who just want your money, and which are the companies that are actual brokers and facilitate your trades.
Yeah. And I think it's become easier and easier with platforms like Etoro or other platforms. Just by the way, make sure to click the links down below. We have Gabor's portfolio and my portfolio. You can check them out. Copy trading does not amount to guarantee profits. It's up to you to check it out. This is only for like, this is what we like investing. This is what we like doing. Let me ask you this, because this is interesting. Do you invest on eToro? Do you invest for yourself or do you invest for the copy?
I invest for myself, it's my money, and I don't see the copier's money. But also it makes me a better investor, because like I know I'm kind of accountable. Like I can't do crazy things. I shouldn't do crazy things, because there are 140 people trusts me with their own money, and I know people work hard for their money and they don't want to lose it.
Yeah.
So I think it's a very good risk management, like that. I know that there are 140 behind me and they will ask me, what happened, dude?
Yeah. There's a little bit of accountability when it comes to that, for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah. But I treat it as my own money still. Like, it's like, because I take care of my money better than I take care of everybody else's money. You know what I mean? So it's like
mind
my
you,
money.
our interests are aligned. I mean, if I'm winning, they are
Exactly.
winning.
Exactly. No, it's the truth. It's the truth. So I tend to do that. Okay. Let me ask you, what does success look to you in the next 10 years doing this path?
Next 10 years. Well, on Etoro, getting a black star, obviously. I mean,
I mean, you got that red star. I think I'm leveling up next month. I think.
oh,
I'm still a
congratulations.
cadet. I'm still a cadet. Great.
I know it's like, have you probably checked how many popular investors are there, in what percentile are you, and you are, if you are just leveling up, you are in the top 13% now,
Nice.
somewhere there.
Yeah. Oh, that's sick. Okay. Because I know there's
So
like 3,000,
if you look at it
4,000.
that way, you are very close to your black star.
I'm in top 10% already. That's fair. Okay. But yeah, okay. And then for yourself, right? Like, so
For
you want to
myself,
invest, you want to make more money for what?
yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously, more money is always better. You could have your. It's not about the money. It's about the freedom you get with it. So, like in 40 days, I'm boarding a cruise ship in Seattle, and I'll be there for a month, coming home to Sydney. If you are working, unlikely that you get so many days off. Mind you, that this is
Yeah.
not the first vacation I'm taking this year, and
Yeah.
not the
Timothy's
last.
on his fourth
After
vacation.
the
Is
cruise
great.
comes home, I'm getting into a camper van with my buddy for 3 weeks. So
Yeah.
that's why everyone should do it, because it gives you time, freedom, and experience. Unless you love sitting at your work desk 10 hours a day and go for the morning stand-up meetings and whatever it is. And yeah, there are some people who love it, which is great. I mean, if they love it, it's great. I
But
love
yeah.
this. So
No,
this is
it's the
what I'm
truth.
passionate about. This is what makes me moving. I
Cool.
mean, I could probably let it go and get a bit more modest return and not read the news just like every week maybe, but I
I
love
like
this.
reading the news. I like paying attention. You have no idea. Every single day I'm in front of my computer. And if I'm not in front of my computer, I'm in front of my phone. My girlfriend doesn't like it. My
That's how my
family
day
doesn't
starts.
like
Yes.
it. I don't care. I need to pay attention. I need to know what I don't know. For me, it's like I like to be on it. I make like, am I a day trader? Like sometimes I take a day trade or two. Don't get me wrong. Like sometimes you
Sometimes the
see
news
value.
triggers you a trade,
Yeah.
like you read an article and I should investigate.
Everything
And then
clicks. Everything just clicks. Pam, 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 pam. But it's like, but the funny thing, like for me to take a day trade, it's not a day trade. It took me 4 years, 5 years to get all of the information
you
or
are
all of the
watching it. You are
criteria to then match the criteria to my trade to say, okay, this is an opportunity to get right here. Bam. You know what I mean? So it's like many people think, oh, I'm just going to study for a month and make money. That's where you become an overnight success with 10 years of experience in the field.
Exactly. I mean, my example now is Fortinet. I mean, you don't see it, but in front of me there is a full glass window, and I have like 40 stocks written on it. That
Nice.
these are the companies I want to buy eventually when it gets to the right price. And Fortinet was on that wall,
Yeah.
and I seen it drop. Was it 20%, something like that? Yeah, let's read that quarterly report. Why did it drop 20%?
Nice. That's the way. It is the way.
Or the other one I love recently, Etoro, the stock. I mean, they had their first quarterly report and it started dropping and it was dropping ever since. And the analysts, I think they didn't like that the company might incur more costs. I mean, yeah, they were investing heavily in the platform, in their people. Like a week ago, I think I talked to a new hire. She came from Google. She's probably not cheap. So, like, they're investing into people, in
Yeah.
the technology. We've seen this new AI platform coming out. We are doing this vibe coding. It's awesome.
Okay.
And it costs money. And they are investing
Yeah.
because in the future they still want to be successful. And that's how you get successful in 4 years, to invest now.
Yeah. It takes you
So
back. It takes you. When is the best time to invest? 10 years ago. When is the second time today? But it's like you got to do it.
yeah.
You got to do it. Okay. So let me ask you. I want to get an idea of how you sort of perceive money, right? Like what is money to you?
It changes over time. It really changes. I'm not sure. Growing up, it was a bit scarce. So that's the default that you don't have. So can I get that little nice jacket or jeans? No, it's expensive. No. And then you start earning for yourself. And yeah, I mean, you learn the value of it, how much it takes to earn it. What was the question again?
Like, how do you see money? Like, what is money to you? Is money
What
sort
is
of
it?
like a
Now
tool?
it's a
Would you
tool. It's
say?
freedom. It's a
Yeah.
tool. It gives you freedom. I think we
Right.
touched on this before.
No, but I think your answer
Not the
has a lot
goal.
of.
I mean, it's great to have, yes, but it's not the goal.
Yeah. Exactly. No, I think it's like you say, like, well, I think so too. It's a tool to get what you want, right? And then when you start understanding the game of money, that's when the game becomes very interesting, because a lot of
And
people think money is just something I change my time for, and it's like that's
no,
it.
money
But
buys you time. Actually, it should be the other way around. Money buys you the time because, like,
yeah,
money you can get more, you earn more, you can rob a bank, whatever. But time is something.
yeah,
It's finite. You cannot
correct.
just
Yeah,
create more.
yeah. The cost of something is the time it takes you to acquire it, right? So it's like you use money as a sort of proxy for that. But the reality is like there are so many other different ways, and with the internet and AI and all of these different tools, it's becoming easier and easier to do, right?
Oh yeah, I'm heavily into AI automation right nowadays. I'm learning it because I see that yes, I can manually post my articles on X, on other platforms, but what if like it automatically does it? Much easier. It gives me time.
Yeah, yeah. Let me ask you, why do you share your information with the world? What's the purpose of that?
Which information?
Like all of it, right? Like, why are you posting on X, on eToro? Why are you doing it? Like, you could just not do it.
I could just not do it. Yes, I could just sit in my apartment, do my little trading. No one has to know. Etoro is brilliant in a way that it gamified this. Like it's actually a game. I'm leveling up,
Yeah.
and
Well,
I
very
treat
true.
it as a social experiment. Like, can I really convince people to put their trust and hard-earned money allocated to me? Yeah. So I treat this sharing and everything is like a game. Also education, because I've seen so many beginner investors making those mistakes. And that's also something I thought about recently, that if something is broken in your apartment, your car is broken, you take it to the mechanic because you know nothing about the car. And then, but what with money, everyone wants to do their own. Like, admittedly, they don't know what they're doing, yet they are not going to a professional. I'm not sure why.
Because it's easier now. Before it was like you needed to go to a professional for them to
Mhm.
be able to access the market. But eToro is now
Okay.
that professional, right? So it's like
Yes,
it
it's
makes
not
it,
very easy to access. Yes, you can just
yeah,
click and you bought Tesla.
yeah.
Great. But why did I buy it? I don't know.
Elon. Elon is great.
Okay. But we are going back to the story because Elon has a
Yeah,
great
you see
story.
Rocket? You see that rocket? It
That was
goes
me.
to the moon. That's why I bought it, because it goes to the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's very true. Okay, so let me ask you this. Let me ask you about, like, now that we're at the end, to give a little bit of like value to the people that have made it this far. It's like, where do you see the markets? What are you paying attention to right now?
Mm,
Give me some alpha here.
Not financial advice.
Never.
I'm actually quite optimistic for the rest of the year. I mean, yes, it could be bumpy, but I don't see a major catastrophe coming. So I'm not selling, but also at the same time, I'm trying to figure out how much runway we have, because eventually we are debating if AI is a bubble, and some people say it is. It might be a little bit. When will it burst? Probably not tomorrow. We might have at least like 6 months.
I
You
think
know,
we
the
have a
market.
while. I think we have a while. I think this capex cycle is not going to end in 6 months, right?
Yeah. Eventually, the companies will be asked, "All right, where's the money? You invested X billion
But it's starting
dollars,
to come. It's starting to come.
okay, that's great. That's good because that
You
was a
know?
good investment. But some of them are just spending investor money and they're going nowhere. So
Yeah.
there has to be a little bit of a cleanse eventually. But I also think that the big companies who know what they are doing, they'll be fine, and they will figure out a way how to make more money with the either by cutting costs or rolling out new products which people are willing to pay for.
Okay. What companies? Well, you said you bought Fortinet. Tell me your story. What? I have no idea. I don't know this company, by the way. I have no idea. You've been talking
Well,
about it, and I'm like, maybe.
because in the past 5-10 years, cybersecurity is important.
Okay.
Fortinet is special in a way that it's vertically integrated. They own the hardware and they own the software as well, so they control it, which is great. It's cost saving basically, and they have a much wider offering. They're once a company, like a customer decides that yes, I want Fortinet gear in my company, it's getting difficult and more difficult to migrate to another company. Because if it's just a little software company, yeah, all right, we can cut this software piece out and replace it with something else. But Fortinet has the ecosystem, just like Cisco. Cisco is also great,
What?
but
You're talking about Cisco and AI? It's being
but
like
it's not cheap now.
I know. Yeah. Cisco. Everybody comparing Nvidia to Cisco.
I'm not sure if they're in the same league, but
It'll be interesting. Just revenue growth. I don't. Well, you know what? I'm not touching on that. I'm not the guest. I'm not the guest. I'm not touching on that. I'm not the guest. But yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So let me ask you: do you sell into this strength? Because I tell you, and this is my personal sort of beliefs is like I've been selling. Like I've even sold my darling Nvidia. Right. I actually diversified a little bit, and it turned out that it was okay. I sold low. Like I sold a fair value, which I think is 160, 165 maybe. If they get a China revenue, 170 is fair value.
I want to sell. I mean, I have my short list and constantly seeing what's getting a bit frothy, overvalued. And I sold a few before. Like I sold Snowflake a couple of months ago. So yes, I'm feeling it that when I say we have about 6 months, it's everything all right.
No, I get you. No, I think everything is all right. You know what I mean? But I don't like the thing is just like the fact that we have gone up so fast and we've recovered so fast from the April rally tells me that volatility is here. Right? Like it's just volatility to the upside because it's still volatility. Right? And it just tells me that right now we could see volatility to the downside. The Trump factor is still at play here.
Stuff.
So yeah, for me, it's just like I think that there's companies that are fairly valued, but I think that there are others that are overvalued. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I think that
there
there
are
is.
certainly. I
I
mean,
think that there
you
is.
sold my Nvidia Palantir before, yes, yes,
You know, that's
exactly,
what
yeah.
I've sort of seen. That's what's I've, and it's like I'm not scared of taking a little bit of money off the table if they've grown drastically, and then like
I'd like to
putting it
build a
somewhere
cash
else
back
where I see more value.
eventually. So some sort of a crash is eventually will come. I mean, it's inevitable. So yes, it is
Yeah.
on my short-term plan that I should build some sort of a cash pile because when the crash comes, I don't want to be fully invested
Or
because
even
I
leveraged.
can't put in another 40% from my back pocket. I should be working with what I have. So yeah.
No, the truth. It's the truth. Anything else? Okay, now I leave the floor up to you. We've been here for a bit, which is nice. It's been a good episode. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But
all right.
what have you been working on? What do you want the people to know? What do you want to share with everybody?
Whoa.
Check out his portfolio down below. Check out his gains. Very good returns in the last couple of years.
I'm actually working on quite heavily posting very often so I get eyeballs and people see my statistics and some of them actually like what I'm doing and I'd like those people who think long term. You probably have that too. I mean, there are a few copiers who like they start copying and in 2 days they leave and then they come
They
back.
trade you. They're traders. They're a trader of popular investors. Fucking nuts. It's crazy.
I
It's
wouldn't call it
great.
crazy or something. It's a different strategy.
100%. That's a
I can't
strategy
get
I do
behind
not
that.
understand.
But if that's what he wants to do, sure, why
It's
not?
his money. He can do whatever he wants. It's his or her money.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
okay
his
with it.
money, so
But
yeah, that's fine.
I'm like, okay, trade a company, great. Trade some forex, okay. But trading popular investors is like, what are we trading? What are you
Yeah, I mean,
trading?
I'm probably not the only one he's trading. Probably there are others. I'm following that. But again, I'm an investor, not a trader. So if I commit to a company, I committed it for a reason. And if it goes down 3, 4, 10%, I'll probably buy more.
Yeah. No, it's the truth, right? Yeah. Like I think it's like if I bought a company and I see it come down, like I have right now, one of my biggest losers is Mara. It's a crypto investor, like
Ooh,
a
yeah,
crypto miner.
I know.
But it
And
upsets
they're
me
buying
because
it
it's
going
like
up.
I think that they're gonna. I think they're gonna be great. I think they're gonna succeed here. I think they're gonna win. I'm telling you.
Maybe.
I think I have a feeling, but I'm taking a massive loss on him. I want to buy more. But Etoro
Yeah,
keeps putting my
but
risk
you're not
my
selling it.
risk
You're not
profile up.
selling it. Okay, yeah, it's probably considered risky.
It's
Yeah.
super risky. It's super risky. It's like 30% of my risk. No.
Hopefully next year. I mean, I'm also working on getting my risk score down. I mean, after April, everybody's risk score went up. Mine went up to 7, and now it's 5. Hopefully,
I'm
I can get it back to 4. I will get back to 4 as soon as I sell my XRP. Or
I don't understand. I don't understand the risk score. I don't understand the risk score. In all honesty, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Because it was like Nvidia moved, and it was like, bro, I know, but it's like it's Nvidia. You know what I mean? Like I'm like $4 trillion market cap company. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? It makes me so mad. But okay,
maybe they are going to reshape this and rework the score. Yes, I also think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me throw some quick fire questions at you. If I give you $1 million right now, what do you do?
I'll put it
That's
on my
all you
account.
have. You have your family and $1 million.
All right. Well, an extra to my existing money, or
Not
so you take away all my portfolios, everything. I'm broke.
I know. I take away your 100 million and your yacht.
Okay. In that case, I'll invest it wisely, and I'll look at my lists, what companies I'm looking at. Fortinet is still worth buying in. Go Fortinet.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I have the ones I want to invest in, and I would. What else? What else would I do? Buy a Porsche.
Is it true? No. Well, the thing is like many people go crazy, right? So it's like if you have less than $1 million in net worth, it's like okay, like I'll just like spend some of it because like, for me it would be like my answer is very simple. If I had $1 million today, it's $100K for my living expenses. That gives me 5 years to 6 years of runway based on my current expenses. Buy a property, potentially get that down to like 10 years of proper managing. Then I have the rest of the money to create capital income and all of those different things, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's planning for the future. Yes,
exactly.
I could spend it, but then I have to go back and hit
no,
apply.
But let's say you buy a 100K house, right?
That would
20K
be nice.
worth of 20K worth of office space.
Yeah.
And then the rest you invest, do all the things. So I like to go around it that way. And then obviously invest because a lot of people say, I'm just going to put it in the S&P 500. It's like, how are you going to eat? How are you going to eat? How are you going to do the things you need to do? You have to take a little bit of money. So that's an interesting one. Okay. Let me ask you, what are you watching in the markets right now, other than Jackson Hole, obviously? But, well, I guess you're not even watching that.
Well, I'm not going to watch it. I'm going to read what happened. Crypto. Yes, I'm looking at because like the crypto got a bit overvalued, or I wouldn't say overvalued. No, it got to a big proportion of my portfolio as it grew in value, and I want to reduce that to about 15%, say 20, because currently it's almost like 50%, which I never intended to do. But hey, crypto is doing great.
Yeah.
So
no, it's the truth.
Everyone loves complaining that the crypto market is going down, and dude, really? I mean, look at that. Where was XRP like a year ago, or ETH? Yeah. Where was it a year ago?
What happened to Bitcoin in 2017? 20K to 3? What are we talking about here? Like it's crazy. Yeah. Let me ask you this. So you invest for freedom.
You can
what
say
is
that,
freedom?
Yeah.
How do you define that? How do you define freedom?
This cruise I'm going to is my probably 7th cruise in the past 5 years. There's a lovely digital nomad community going there, 300 people. I love them, and I'm getting inspired by them because you have some crazy life stories there. None of them are office workers, and they are all having their own businesses. So it's super inspiring.
That's very good. So it's just the freedom to do what you want when you want. Okay. Nice. If you can tell something, let's say your when will your daughter? Well, knowing you, probably your daughter already has an investment account.
She
Does
has
she?
a bank. She has a
Okay.
card, a bank card, a debit card. That's
Okay.
it.
Okay. So my question would be, what are you gonna give her? What's a piece of information you will tell your daughter to do, and when are you gonna do that relating to all of this world of investment?
That's probably the next few years challenge, like how to give her the information, the age appropriate information. Because currently I shouldn't be explaining what a company and the share is, and like, no, we are not there.
You're not getting any. Yeah, you're not getting
We
a
can
doll.
compare which
No.
candy is cheaper or which candy is better per kilogram or something. Like currently that's where we are. So yeah, I mean,
Well,
I
how
don't
would you
have
share the knowledge? You know what I mean? Because that's something interesting that all parents want to know. It's like this was something you didn't have access to.
she will get involved. I mean, probably I will in the very beginning. I have to make it very easy for her to earn money. I mean, looking back, probably age of 15, 16, I started to earn like tangible amounts. I can buy a camera or I can buy something bigger from those amounts we can play with. Yeah, obviously not the $4. Who cares? I mean,
Yeah. No,
it
she's
doesn't
young
work.
right now. One of the things that my dad did back in the day with me was like he would fund all of my entrepreneur ideas, right? So I
Yeah.
used to have a business called Pablo Snacks, and I used to like take like snacks to my boarding school and sell them in my boarding school. Never made a profit.
Entrepreneur.
I ate it all. I ate it all, but then that sort of like got me into the business ideas and what to do and how to tackle it and doing all of these different things. And then later in life, my dad was like, look, I'll give you a $5,000 investment. You don't even have to tell me what it is. Just go nuts. Right. If you can pay me back, great. We paid him back because like that was my first crypto investment ever.
Awesome.
Yeah. It was like we bought some mining computers and we bought some crypto and then we lost a ton of it and then we made it all back. And then that's worth like 20x.
What were you mining?
Bitcoin. Just Bitcoin.
When was that?
2017.
Oh, that's still early.
Yeah. It was. But I bought my first purchase of Bitcoin.
I also mined my first Bitcoin.
Nice.
2014.
Nice.
But then I realized Bitcoin was about like $300, $350 maybe, something like that. Yeah, but still, I mean, the miner was expensive. The electricity was expensive. I mean, I was living in San Francisco, so obviously electricity is not the best. But I had to try just for the sake of the experiment. And I realized I'm converting electricity to money, so I could actually buy Bitcoin. Why not?
Yeah. No, it was very interesting. Like, funny enough, the thing that got me intrigued into like mining and all of that stuff was the fact that I knew how to game. Like when I did gaming, like
I know
heard
you're
my
a gamer.
computer go crazy. Yeah. And my computer would go, and then mining was doing the same thing, but there was nothing happening on the screen really. And I was like, this is weird, but there must be something happening. So I was like, okay. So we bought a couple of computers. I still have that case. The case of my computer is the same case I bought for the first mining computer.
That's your legacy.
Yeah. It's hilarious. You know what I mean? So it's been super interesting journey for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. I think we're good. I think we've done it pretty good, All right. I'll stop it. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like if you want. Make sure to check out portfolios. There's always risk in investing, but part of the game.
Copy Nestor.
Yeah. Let's get me out of cadet. Let's get me out of cadet. All right. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Peace out.